Hold on a minute. Mass demonetization? Bro, this is insane. That's blue skin hatred. That's what it is. Blue skin hatred.
So I'm not going to do like a whole long drawn out outro, just going to cut to the chase. Give you an update on what is going on. I've been doing YouTube for over a decade now, and all of my channels have been demonetized.
I actually didn't know it was that ancient. Yeah, I've been doing it for similar. Maybe it's 12 years, but then again, I wasn't that involved in it in the first couple of years, so I would say similar. We're both kind of old school, aren't we?
All of my channels have been demonetized.
All of his channels are demonetized. So it's like an AdSense account widespread demonetization. Holy moly.
That's right, terminated from the monetization program, and the reason they gave me was harassment. They gave no examples. They just said harassment. So just letting you know, this is a mistake. Obviously, I do not harass people on the channel. Yeah, I make fun of ideas a lot.
Bro, this is insane. And then you have Hassan Piker, fully monetized. This makes me want to flip a table. I swear, I'm so sick of two-tier justice. I'm just sick of it. Now, yeah, the guy's quite controversial. We get it. He says stuff. He's like his mouth is quite running. Fine. One could say I'm somewhat controversial, maybe not at the same level. But Hassan Piker is definitely 10 times more controversial than this man. Blue person. This is what drives me nuts. I'm so sick of it. It keeps happening on so many platforms. Twitch, for instance. It's the double standards. And I'm going to tell you, every type of double standard pisses me off. So not only it's insane that, again, someone like Hassan Piker can just say whatever they want, even though Hassan Piker has said stuff that is worse than anything that Nux has ever said. In terms of harassment, are you joking? But think about it, even in situations like on Twitch, but to be honest, we know quite a lot of people get demonetized, or even not even a matter of demonetized, they get banned, perma-banned on Twitch for nothing in comparison to, once again, Golden Boy Hassan Piker. But that doesn't just include people on the right of politics. Destiny got perma-banned. I hate that man. I loathe him. But I don't get it. Why does Destiny get perma-banned, but Hassan Piker still gets a pass? Even that is two-tier justice. And even that one pisses me off. As much as I hate Destiny, personally, viscerally, still it's like how? In comparison to both Hassan and Destiny, Nux is a saint.
But I do not tend to go after immutable characteristics and stuff like that. But obviously,
yeah, of course.
I'm a right-wing channel. I don't lie, and therefore I am subject to this stuff. It happens to a lot of people, actually. I'll be real. I wish I was surprised. The impressions on my channel have been going down for a while now, even though the views have basically been going up, because the
impressions are going down, views are going up.
Average click-through rate of my videos keeps getting higher, meaning more people clicks on the videos if they actually see it and they're recommended. It just doesn't get recommended as much. Now, I know YouTube has been clamping down on this kind of thing. This is not surprising to me. In fact, the reason why I pivoted to this is because, honestly, it's important to talk about. Now, I am not saying this to stir up a public shitstorm or anything. Obviously, that's the nuclear option, and we will discuss it probably, hopefully never. I'm going to try my best to be diplomatic about it and work on things behind the scenes.
I hope that they can, I think, what could you do about this, though? Like, yeah, you can appeal it. Nux, if you ever watch this, do you have, I imagine you have a contact with YouTube, like your own personal contact through YouTube? If not, let me know, because I do have a direct contact, but I'm sure you do. I mean, you're more successful than me, so I'm sure you have it. But just in case, if for whatever reason, maybe due to the controversial nature of your content, if you don't have a direct contact, meaning the partner manager at Google, that someone can actually look into it, possibly reverse it, just shoot me a message. I'll get you in contact.
I'm going to try my best to be diplomatic about it and work on things behind the scenes if I can. I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. The truth is, though, while my content is perfectly fine according to the community guidelines of YouTube, and I do believe this is an error due to a mass flagging campaign where YouTube got bombarded with people being like, oh my God, this guy's harassing people, which I don't do. So hopefully the error will be rectified eventually. YouTube also owes me.
Kind of sounds like like one of those hate speech nonsense laws. And of course, this isn't the law. This is terms of service of a platform, which are purposely maintained vague, by the way. And it's done on purpose. We understand that, so that they can be enforced or not enforced based on minutiae that we can't quantify nor fully understand. For instance, if I review a news about a school shooting, and let's imagine in the school shooter belongs to a minority, If I call the school shooter a piece of scum because they shot kids, is someone going to say, oh, he's harassing, he hates the shooter because he's part of a minority group, whether it be sexual or ethnic? Now, the answer to that is no, I hate him or her because of what they did. You can see how that can be manipulated and twisted. Now, he just said he doesn't go after immutable characteristics of individual, which means ethnicity, gender, and all the rest. So, is that how they're flipping it? Do we have to be careful if we misgender a shooter? Is that where we're going? This is the real question here. I really wish, and I mean it when I say this, I really wish that all of this racist this and racist that and phobic this and phobic that, why don't you go after, I wish the energy was spent towards the real ones. The real racists, the people that are actually hateful, plenty of which are hateful against white people, by the way. And at this point, straight Christian men. But as usual, it's never about equality of treatment. It's never about equality. Everyone is equal under the law. Nothing. It's always about, well, you're an oppressor class, so anything used against you is fine. Then they come up with nonsense semantic shift reasoning as to excuse why racism is not racist against white people due to the fact that it's not systemic, even though at this point it is. At this point, that doesn't even work anymore because it is. Unbelievable.
About 80. Hopefully the error will be rectified eventually. Yep. YouTube also owes me about $80,000, which they say they will not be able to pay back. At least not until I'm back in the monetization program. So retroactively, I'm being punished for this too. So
that is insane. $80,000. Bro, you can put a down payment for a house with that money. 80,000. So what? Revenue that was generated, but then you got demonetized, I suppose, before payday? And so it remains stuck in the ether? That is insane.
So I wanted to take this moment to say, we're coming back to streaming, boys.
Of course.
That's right. Yeah. Every single day.
Rumble,
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Probably not Friday and Saturday. I will be streaming on Kick at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I wonder why don't you do both with multi-streaming? I imagine he does. Maybe he does do multi-streaming Kick and Twitch, I suppose. Not Twitch, sorry. Kick and Rumble.
We'll be doing this today. I probably will not be doing it for the weekend, but I will hopefully be back on Monday or Sunday even. And we'll
take weekends off. You should take weekends off.
We'll do our best. Now, before getting into the details, the theory that I have as to what exactly triggered this, actually, my first thought was obviously, I get tons of death threats from like the Hassan Piker community because that entire community loves
so tolerant
terrorism, and I don't. So therefore, we don't get along very well. Yeah. And that is still it's still on the agenda. It's very possible. I know just recently, Tectone, if you're reacting to this Tectone, love you, man. Nice shiny head you got there. Keep telling.
Tectone is based.
The truth. When Hassan Piker slanders me or Tectone or Asmongold or anybody else that they can come, that's totally fine. That's acceptable. That's accepted by YouTube. Bro, the Jews got me. But apparently not.
For those who don't know, he's a Jew, by the way. So you understand there is a humor here. I guess this is maybe this statement they're going to say is anti-Semitic, even though he is Semitic. It's...
Being a huge fan of grooming gangs in England, that is a step too far. And the reality is, that is my leading reasoning as to why this finally actually happened now. I've been talking about the grooming gang situation in England for a while, over the last week or two, ever since the gigantic report that was dropped.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you!
250,000 children that were molested. And I guess that insults the immutable characteristics of rapists, perhaps?
We live in a clown. Look, it's either a clown world or we live in a simulation. At this point, I don't know which one is which, but it's just NPC behavior. Badly programmed NPC, in fact. Just out of curiosity, is this channel news, politics, education? Let me see what his category is. Let me access his source code. Category entertainment. Oh, I'm always curious to see what people choose.
I don't know exactly. But I wanted to let you know I will be continuing making content, telling the truth, and hopefully this will get fixed because it's obviously a mistake. The major reason why I think it is the UK situation is because I've actually had a video taken down before. I got a strike on my channel a few months ago because...
A strike?
Because I called Keir Starmer the F-slur. So...
okay, yeah. So that's the problem, I think, with YouTube. I mean, you must have noticed the kind of like nonsense that we need to deal with. I have to say, like, we have to say boomstick. I personally just choose to say firearm, but definitely I have to spell it out. Gun. I mean, really? And then we have to say self-deletion, we have to say unalived. It's insane, the type of words that we have to, and what's crazy is that, okay, he used the what is it, the F slur, is it called? Right, but Keir Starmer is a heterosexual man, so clearly that's not used in a way to try and hurt a gay person, right? It's not used in a way to be derogatory towards a gay person or a homosexual. He's using it as an insult to Keir Starmer, which, by the way, Keir Starmer deserves all of it. Traitor piece of shit. But yeah, there are words that you're not allowed to say. Now, given, once again, it is terms or services of an individual company. So while I'm a massive freedom of speech supporter, which means I would never want the government to be involved in anything like this, with any type of slur against white people, slur against black people, it doesn't matter. If it's ugly speech, it's ugly, but it's still protected. Thing is, though, if in this case, of course, it's not necessarily a freedom of speech discussion because we're talking about a private company. But what makes us go absolutely nuts is the double standards, because you're telling me that using the F slur is worse, leads to complete utter demonetization than direct calls for violence, which are not protected speech, and which Hassan Piker, when I have to read one thing that I prepared, 1 second before I continue that. Allegedly, all persons are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Hassan Piker has, in my opinion, made all sorts of direct calls to violence towards capitalists, conservatives, US senators, the sitting presidents of the United States, and yet not only doesn't get anything from the government, which I don't know why. I want the feds to knock his door down. But also, the terms of service of these platforms have been broken. Nothing, no repercussion. But then he uses one word and that's it for him? I mean, I don't get it.
So now, me getting my entire monetization suspended in the midst of covering this situation at detail over the last week is not the most surprising thing in the world, even though obviously it is a mistake. They've been censoring everyone for years trying to cover this situation up. Why would I be surprised that they would try to censor me? So content will continue. It will be done via live stream. We're going to be doing that every day, hopefully, at least 5 days a week if we can, unless something comes up. And your support is immensely appreciated. My entire income basically just dried up.
That's I mean, this is what's scary about content creation. It's the best job in the world. But honestly, it's an anxiety-driving career, because you're trying to build, and you, for instance, for me, I've got a family, got a son, a wife, my elderly father. They all depend on me. So can you imagine if something like this happened to me, and then how am I going to pay the mortgage? This is one of the reasons why we try to go out platforming everywhere, because you can't put all your eggs in one nest, in one basket. So please do support. I'm going to show my other platforms as well, but do support this man as well. Go check out his streams. I'll try to put a link. I will put a link to his kick in the description. But just to say, let me go to full screen and let me move to the platforms. So as you can see, not only on the right I have multiple YouTube channels, but then again, they are all connected to the same AdSense, which is probably, so basically if one gets demonetized, I imagine they would all get demonetized if it's a AdSense widespread form of demonetization, which is probably what happened to Nux. But if you look on the left, there are the other platforms where I also create content, and of course there is Patreon. So it is necessary. I don't know if Nux has a Patreon. If it does, I'll put a link in the description too. But that's why it's important to try and expand, because you can't just rely on one platform. It's also one of the reasons why I've been trying to become an author. I've been working on my book. I'm trying to do that as a secondary career, because this is it's ethereal. It's like everything can just disappear the day after. So your support means the world to us, whether it be through Patreon, Subscribestar, us content creators, particularly the ones that tell it how it is and risk it. It's direct support that allows us to continue no matter what. So thank you very much for your support.
And yeah, I am going to be breaking Jew stereotypes, by uploading videos for free. But, honestly, I think saying the things that need to be said is honestly more important. That is why I greatly appreciate any of your support. It is not necessary. I don't want to obligate anybody here or anything, but it is very appreciated. I have a Patreon linked in the description.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll put his Patreon link into my description.
Anything you could donate there helps immensely. I am considering bringing...
Let's have a look at this Patreon. Let's have a look. So, Deep Dive Channel, Kick for Epic Stream, Twitter, and Patreon. So let's have a look at his Patreon. 3 posts, good amount of money. But then again, in America, you could barely pay your health insurance with that. So, okay, so this is his Patreon. You'll find a link, of course.
Back a lot of fan requested stuff for Patreon exclusive, like maybe Adventure Time or other things that people have been wanting me to look into. I will probably start doing more debate situations. And for people that support me on Patreon and on Kick, I will do my best to incorporate their ideas somehow into the content. Another thing that you could do that would help immensely, and this is literally for free, if I get like a sponsor or something, if you could click the link in the description just to like look at it a little bit deeper, all right, it's literally free and it helps me a lot. Just click the link every once in a while. That would be huge. I'm trying to come up with ways that I'm not financially devastated, where I am also not an imposition on any of you, and where I could still make the content that...
That's fair, you know, that's a fair request.
I very much enjoy making.
And let his play... Okay, I'm going to tell you another one. If he ever returns to monetization, which I'm sure he will let you know, if you watch a video of his and he says, hey, I'm back to monetization, it's fixed, then if you're doing chores, just let his videos play. Let his videos play in the background while you're doing chores and you listen to them and maybe you're doing stuff. So he gets a monumental average watch time. That does help us a lot.
And very much feel like needs to be made. I appreciate all of your support, Patriots. I do not want to waste too much of your time. I will be taking this unpaid opportunity as an opportunity, honestly, to make my content better. I have a few big ideas, and I'm going to actually try them. And last but not least, I wanted to thank God. Thank you, God, for giving me the ability to do what I do. To quote Isaiah, God, use me. I hope I can continue to be somewhat of a good messenger. I'm going to try my best. I'm grateful for all the blessings that I've received. And honestly, I am grateful for the trials and hardships that are put before me so that when I overcome them, I'll be better on the other side. I have faith that this is for the best, and I also know that we are winning. The toothpaste isn't going back in the tube. I appreciate your support. We're going to make the absolute most of this. I'll see you live on kick.com/Nuxanor.
Okay, well, this is, again, it's a terrible, terrible situation. I hate it. I hate everything about it. The fact that there isn't, if you think about it, there isn't a single job out there that can do this. There isn't a single, not that they are directly employers. It's really not, it's not an employer-employee situation between YouTubers and YouTube proper. But the reality is that there is no job that can just, I mean, that would be wrongful termination lawsuits right there, but they can do whatever they want. And I think some kind of regulation that, particularly for people that use this as their way to support their families, as their main career, whether or not they do have a family, it's irrelevant, I suppose. But like, if it's the main way that people use in order to, like, they give up on 9 to 5s to do this, there should be some. You get, it's like being fired with nothing, like overnight, wrongful termination, nothing, no. It's insane. It's just, it's unregulated, and I think it should start getting regulated because, again, it's a career. It's a job. Whether people like it or not, it's a non-conventional job. It's a non-traditional job, but it is a job. It takes time. And to prove to you that this that we do is a job is that even though there are people that say, go get a real job to YouTubers because they think all we do is like turn on the camera, say a couple of words, and that's the end of what we do. But the reality is that if you write a script, if you're a script writer, people think it's a job. If you're a researcher, people think it's a job. If you are a presenter, like of any kind of TV personality, you present that information, yeah, that's a job. If you're an editor, so you're editing videos, that's a job. If you're any of these possible individual positions as job, you would never dream to tell someone who's a professional editor, or you don't go get a real job. And yet, when you take a YouTuber, which means taking all of these and encapsulate them into one, because we do all of it. Now, some of us, of course, outsource at one point as we grow. We will like maybe start paying editors to reduce some of the bulk. Some people have script writers. I'm not one of those. I prefer to create my own stuff, but I do outsource some of the research to professionals, but that comes after years of doing everything, being the jack of all trades. How is it possible that individual jobs that are considered careers, once you encapsulate them into one single person, it stops being a job and it stops being work? Oh, now you're just not to mention the amount of hours and dedication that it takes, even to just live stream. It's, of course, compared to someone who's a bricklayer or someone who's a construction worker, so all sorts of other physical jobs. So the idea of having to go to an office for 8 hours, 9 hours, and then commuting, of course, it's easier. obviously, and it's not like we are privileged. I do realize that. But saying, oh, it's not a job, go get a real job, it's stupid, because it is. It is a job. Just as much as any other job, it's a job. It's a way to make money, support yourself and your family. Anyways, this is terrible news, to be honest. I hope things get fixed, and we really need to start getting proper treatment from the platforms. It is what it is. All the best of luck, Nux. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.